This might be a little awkward. I kind of feel like I'm talking to myself. Um, but I'm working on making a video series, I guess, for YouTube. Just kind of documenting my weight loss journey. And hopefully something that my son will see in the future. Um, and I guess I gotta give a little bit of a backstory to what's going on. Um, First off, my name's Ken. Right now, I'm 350 pounds, and sometime last year, I was put on Abilify. According to the psychologist, it was supposed to help me be a little less autistic, I guess. I did like the way it made me feel, but there was no pauses in my thinking as far as like having a conversation. I would like sit there in silence for sometimes like a minute and a half, something like that. Not entirely sure what goes on in that time. I think I'm like gathering my thoughts or figuring out like what's being said to me. When I was on the Abilify, the difference I noticed was that it was quick. I was quick with it, in a conversation. There wasn't that moment of silence, and the other person's like sitting and waiting, wondering what I'm doing. So that was one of the main reasons I took it. But in my time of taking it, in the span of 2 months, I went from 295 pounds to 355 pounds. So I gained roughly 60 pounds in 2 months. Well, also at the same time, I was on a blood pressure pill with a water pill. It was like a combination pill. And I didn't know what was causing the massive weight gain. But I was getting depressed. I was losing my motivation. It was like bad for my mental health. It was causing relationship issues. I didn't want to go on walks. I got a 5-month-old kid. And I'm like, I didn't want to leave the house. I just preferred staying home, and it was very hard to find my motivation, because it was depressing. So I ended up quitting like everything. Like I got off of everything, stopped it all. If you're not new to the mental health industry, or you've been around the mental health services, the number one thing you shouldn't do is just quit cold turkey. I didn't really listen to that, and it's not like I had diagnoses or something that was severely affecting or altering my personality, I guess. If that's how you would say it. So I had a doctor's appointment with my primary care physician shortly after getting on insurance. And when I got into the doctor's office, they took my weight, took my blood pressure and all that. Since stopping Abilify, I maybe only lost like 5 pounds. And that was like, geez, probably 4 months ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. Because I started the Abilify August of last year. So August, September, October. It was roughly October that I reached 355. And then October, November, December, January, February, March. We're now in April. So actually it's been like 6 months. So the doctor takes my blood pressure, and my blood pressure is like 192 over 100. And the doctor tells me, like, I need to go to the emergency room. I'm having a hypertensive crisis. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, I feel fine. I don't feel anything. And I was like, my plan was to get back to work later on that day, because I had my appointment first thing in the morning. So, like, I need to make money because I got bills to pay and family, and I just can't. An emergency room visit isn't in my agenda. And I told the doctor that, and the doctor was like, I can't force you to go, but you need to do something, or you're going to have a stroke, or it's going to kill you. So that really woke me up to the situation, that it was getting bad. So the doctor's plan was to put me on something called Zepbound. I guess it helps curb your hunger a little bit. And obviously, the number one rule of losing weight is a proper diet. And then the other thing they put me on was Wellbutrin. And the purpose for that was also for weight loss. She said they use it in patients, specifically men, for weight loss purposes. So I ended up starting those, and for the longest time, walking through Main Street in East Stroudsburg, I ended up seeing this boxing gym, and I used to be a lifelong wrestler. Maybe not lifelong. I started in 7th grade, and then wrestled until my senior year. And I did pretty good for a 235 pound guy wrestling people that are 285 pounds. I was a light heavyweight. But I had no aversion to training and training hard. I had no aversion to the hard work that comes with being a wrestler. And I figured boxing wasn't going to be a whole lot different in the aspect of training, cardio, getting in shape. Wrestling has 3-minute rounds, just like boxing does. I guess depending on what level you're at. Lower levels, I guess, are shorter rounds. Higher levels are longer rounds. I don't know off the top of my head. But for weeks, I kept seeing the sign, and I kept telling myself, like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I kept procrastinating, and it just never happened. But after that doctor's appointment, and after what the doctor told me, I immediately went and signed up for a membership at that boxing gym. And I guess, forgive me while I ponder my thoughts here and get everything together. I'm going to do this in one take and not stop it and go. It's not going to be a perfect. Maybe I'll get better with this over time. But the other aspect to these videos are to document my journey for my son. To see the kind of work that I'm putting into to get back in shape. My end goal is to hopefully be down to my wrestling weight at 235. It might take a full year for that to happen. I don't know. Being a heavyweight, especially on the lighter side, I've never specifically had to cut weight. Like, I just ate whatever I wanted. Everyone else on the team hated me that had to suck weight. I got a lot to learn. And, at the end of this video, I'm gonna post, I'm gonna have pictures of my size, what I look like before starting the boxing classes. Boxing classes are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 3 days a week. Due to my job, I am a wrecker operator. I'm a wrecker operator, and my job is very, what's the word? It's not really a set schedule or dependable, I guess, as far as like when you'll get out of work. I could get a call at 2:30 p.m. and my end time could be 3 o'clock, but because the call came in before the end of my day, I got to do that call. And it could be a 3-4 hour call, so, I might not get out until 7-8 o'clock at night. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but I couldn't commit to going to that gym 6 days a week. But I said I could guarantee at least 3 days a week, because that's typically how the schedule is. And I do typically get out on time 3 days a week. So on the off days, I plan on having my own little training regiment, I guess. And then other aspects of this video is going to be delving into the diet, what exactly I changed um, to help facilitate me losing weight. And to be honest, I could never do this without my fiance. She does all the cooking. She looked a lot of stuff up, and she's been real great as far as supporting me and what it is I'm trying to do and what it is I'm trying to accomplish. I want to be able to see my son graduate. I want to hopefully see him get married. I'm 33 years old. I have a 5-month-old kid. I had my first kid pretty late in life, I guess. I don't know. I spent all my younger years being an idiot, so to speak. And I think a lot of us have. And I hope you guys decide to stick with the journey, and I hope to see you in my corner.